Bob Hasker was a quiet man, living alone in a small, unassuming house on the outskirts of a sleepy town. He was the kind of person who blended into the background, unnoticed by most. His neighbors knew him as the friendly but reclusive man who always wore a hat and had a soft, unassuming smile. He worked at the local hardware store, always willing to lend a hand or offer advice on fixing a leaky faucet or a creaky door. One foggy autumn evening, as Bob was walking home from the store, he took a different route than usual. The streets were eerily silent, the thick fog muffling any sound. He passed by the old, abandoned playground, a place he hadn't seen in years. As he walked, he heard a faint, muffled cry. Curiosity and concern pulled him towards the sound. There, in the shadows of the rusted swings, he found a young boy, no more than 7 or 8 years old, huddled on the ground. The boy's face was streaked with tears, his clothes torn and dirty. Bob's heart ached for the child, and he approached slowly, trying not to frighten him. "Hey there, buddy, are you lost?" Bob asked gently. The boy looked up, eyes wide with fear and desperation. "I can't find my way home," he whispered. Bob knelt down, offering his hand. "It's all right, I'll help you. Let's get you home." As they walked, Bob tried to make small talk, but the boy remained silent, clutching his hand tightly. The fog grew thicker, and the streets seemed to twist and turn in unfamiliar ways. Bob's sense of direction faltered, and he realized they were lost. Panic set in, but Bob didn't want to scare the boy. He kept walking, hoping to find a familiar landmark. Hours passed, and the town seemed to transform into a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. The boy grew weary, his steps slower and more hesitant. Eventually, they stumbled upon an old, dilapidated house, one Bob had never seen before. Desperation gnawed at him, and he decided to seek shelter until the fog lifted. The house was dark and musty, the air thick with decay. Bob found a small, dusty couch and set the boy down. "It's just for a little while," he reassured. "We'll rest, and then we'll find our way home." The boy nodded, eyes heavy with exhaustion. Bob sat beside him, his mind racing. The minutes turned into hours, and the boy's breathing grew shallow. Bob shook him gently, but the boy didn't respond. Panic surged through him as he checked for a pulse, finding none. Fear and confusion overwhelmed Bob. He tried to revive the boy, but it was too late. The child's lifeless body lay still, a tragic reminder of a night gone horribly wrong. Bob's heart pounded in his chest, guilt and dread consuming him. He couldn't bring himself to leave the boy alone in that desolate house. He sat beside him, tears streaming down his face, mourning the life that had slipped through his fingers. The fog outside began to lift, but Bob knew that his life would never be the same. By morning, the town awoke to the news of a missing child. Bob, distraught and broken, confessed to finding the boy but claimed he had done nothing to harm him. The police, skeptical and wary, took him into custody. The townspeople, shocked and grieving, whispered among themselves, unsure of what to believe. In the end, Bob Hasker became a tragic figure, a man haunted by the unintended consequences of a single night. The town would never forget the loss of the young boy, nor the quiet man who had tried, and failed, to save him.